What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Rain Knight Gaming. I'm Rain Knight, and this is Fallen of ALBAZ Strike ROI, Return on Investment. That's right, I'm going to do a short series, just a couple little episodes, where we go through and see, should we buy the structure deck? What do we put in the structure deck? How good can it get? And how much is it going to cost us to get good? Sounds so dumb. This first episode, we're going to bust open the structure deck, and then I'm going to introduce a couple extra tech cards and an archetype or two, just to get us into something that feels a little more cohesive than mashing 3 decks together, because, well, yes, this structure deck's sick nasty. It needs that extra little spice to get it moving. This structure deck gives you so much. And these cards are the ones that I decided are probably your best picks to keep in. There's one or two that you could bring in or out, but these are my favorites and I think go well with the added cards that I'm putting in. So first up, you got to play the 3 Fallen of ALBAZ. He is just, your bread and butter. You don't really want to summon him out unless you're going second, because he does have a super poly effect, which is pretty awesome, but mostly you want to fuse off of this card, using it as material in your deck, using your main fusion spell. Then we've got Keeper of the Dragon Magic. He's really good, and you see I may have put in an ultimate rare just because I wanted to use it. This guy is just a searcher for your fusion spell, so awesome. Another one, Kit. This is another searcher for your fusion spell. She's pretty good, and people will usually ash this or the other card. I do have a way around that later on the deck, so wait for it. Then we've got one of our dragon here. This is just a draw card, because this deck kind of needs draw power, and with this lower budget, you don't have some of the best draw cards, so every little bit helps. The main reason this deck is busted, Branded Fusion. This thing is just gross. Look out in the years to come. This thing is gonna get limited probably, because it's really good. Then, of course, the deck gave us 3 Ghost Ogres. Ghost Ogre is amazing in this format because it gets rid of those cards on the field. So I've been saying for a while in my budget videos that Ghost Ogre was definitely getting slept on. English. That's my first language too. So great card. Mediocre hand trap for me, Effect Veiler. It's still a good hand trap because it's a hand trap, and all hand traps are pretty good. But, if you're actually putting in more money, then I would take him out, put an Ash Blossom in or something else. But, they're giving them to us, so we're going to play 6 hand traps. Then, because this is primarily a going second deck, I'm putting in 3 Dark Ruler No Mores, because it just lets you take those big boards with tons of negates and say, you know what? You don't get your effects. One last card, I did put a higher rarity in. Call by the Grave. It's just a good card, and it protects all your graveyard effects and protects you from hand traps, so you want to put that in there. I'm going to go ahead and put in the extra deck monsters here for this archetype. I'm running 2 of the new fusion monster because he is amazing. He gets to banish a card, and if he gets destroyed, you get to destroy all their monsters in the end phase. So I'm guaranteeing a lot of people are going to forget about that second effect and just lose their entire board. Another great just combo piece and just a great all-around card is the new dragon here, the Searing Dragon. This thing's gross, and I'm running 2. If you took out some of my other extra deck monsters that we're going to run in here, you could probably bump this one and this one up to 3. But just whatever you can do. Then we are running 2 of the Branded Dragon. He's really awesome too. He lets you get into your Ice Blade here really easily. And that is it for the Fallen of ALBAZ structure deck cards. Let's get right into our next archetype. We've got Shaddolls. Shaddolls are not expensive, and they're really pretty solid. And if you've been playing for any amount of time, you're going to have these because they have the structure deck. I mean, realistically, if they ever reprinted the structure deck, you're just going to mash this structure deck and the ALBAZ structure deck together, and you're golden. But we're going to play 1 Hedgehog, gives us draw power. 1 Dragon, this lets you, get rid of some spell or trap. Then we've got Beast, that is also draw power. So these are just great cards. You're mostly using them to summon your other Shaddoll monsters, but you do get to get their effects most of the time if you're fusing with them. So just, added effect. A couple cards that I like in here. You want to play the Winda. Winda is great because she just, gives you more cards. And this one's a little weird, but I like it because of all the graveyard things going on right now. I'm playing 1 Nil Ariel, because she gets to banish 3 cards from the graveyards, not just yours. So, pesky DPE, get rid of it. DP? Yeah, DP. Phoenix Enforcer. So, she is awesome. And then you want to play Shaddoll Fusion. This was the broken fusion card before Branded came out. So, if you're going second, they're probably going to have, extra deck monsters out there. So you get to fuse from your deck. And if you're fusing from your deck, you get to use those Shaddoll cards. They get their effects. And it's just, build and build advantage. One of your best Shaddoll monsters, Construct. This is going to get you a draw from your deck. And you're probably going to use Winda to do it. So you'll get 2 cards there. So really good. Good old Floodgates. You gotta do Winda. She is just, people hate her, and for good reason. She stops people from spamming the board. And then I also like to play Alpa Cologne. Alpa Cologne lets you, just, take care of some of their problematic cards. And Shikinaga, because it's also just a great card. The, Shaddolls, they're budget, they're fun, and they're easy to get your hands on. Just, one of my favorites. Then, one I'm sure you've seen people say you need to get your hands on is 3 Super Polys. This card is amazing, especially with this deck, because this deck is all about polying. And so you play these 3, and it's just, lights out. They've got the Dragoon on board. Guess what? Super Poly. They've got DPE. Guess what? Super Poly. It's just one of those cards that ruins people's day. And I just play three fusions with it. You're going to play the Mud Dragon. It's kind of just a general one that can usually hit most monsters. And I play Starving Venom because it's Starving Venom. It's just 2 darks. People play darks. I mean, it's one of the best, elements. And then one I really like to play is the Purrplant one. And because you've got so many fusions out, you're probably going to be able to go to him. He also has a negate. There's a couple other really good fusions that you can go into. There's really good targeted ones you could put in your extra deck for those certain archetypes that you want to try to take care of right away. So these are just the ones I want to keep in the main deck, and they're really nasty and will destroy people's decks. I'm going to get into 3 cards here that are just, cheap, and you want to play them because they're awesome. So you've got your Twin Twisters. This gets rid of back row and can send Shaddolls to the graveyard, so pretty good. And we've got Upstart Goblin. If you know me, I play 40 card decks, and I love me some Upstart Goblin. So those are just some to finish off most of the deck here. And then we have the super spicy part of the deck that people will not see coming. We've got 2 Mass Change 2. And you're like, Rain Knight, Heroes? What are you thinking? Well, this card right here, this is what you can use with Kit. Kit, you know, if somebody tries to stop her effect, and you've got Mass Change in hand, you just go ahead, hit it with Mass Change, that blocks it, and you will summon out your 2 Dark Claws. And she still gets her effect. So, bala. But that's right, we're playing 2 Darklaw. Darklaw is a walking macrocosm. He is just a hell of a card, and I think if there's any way you can, you know, trick him out into the field, you want to do that. And that is actually 39 cards. And then I'm going to give you a couple options for things you may want to put in the deck. So you've got, of course, the one that comes with here. This is another hand trap. Pretty good. A lot of people will be running this. I also have the chance you could use El Shaddai Fusion. You could do a 3rd Mass Change. You, of course, just run the, you know, Monster Reborn. It's a great card. It's to 1 for a reason. And another little spicy thing you could do, Fusion Deployment. This going 2nd would let you get out your Super Poly, your walking Super Poly, and just, you know, take care of their board. So there's a couple options for you. Something you could do. Well, that it is for this video. This deck is really good. And you see these 4 cards here? These are the only 4 cards in this entire deck that didn't come out of a structure deck at some point. So, you know, it's really easy to find these cards. If you've played for any number of years, you have these cards. So it's basically a $30 deck. Other than that, if you don't have anything, you're just starting up now, it's probably gonna run you maybe 50, 60 bucks, give or take, you know, how many of these cards you don't have. But yeah, it's really good. And I do plan on putting out a couple more videos with a even more expensive, more fleshed out version of the deck. And then after that one, we'll go a little bit more expensive. I probably will not go into the full Despia deck because that card is stupid expensive. And you know what? Mrs. Rain Knight would probably kill me if I spent that much money on Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So we'll see what happens. But until then, I hope you guys like this series. Also, tell me if you guys want to see more combos in these videos. I'm not going to put one in this because it's already getting a little long. So hit me in the comments down below. Don't forget, like, subscribe, trying to get up to 2,000. It'd be amazing. And I need you guys to do it. But until then, I'll see you next time. It's been Rain Knight Gaming. I'm Rain Knight. See you.